computer being glitchy. What's up? It's Weekend Weebs, episode 31, June 15th, 2023. Alonzo, got my man Jason with me, and got another week of shows for us. You want to start with Demon Slayer?
Should we start with Demon Slayer?
I mean, we don't
I think
have
we should
to.
start with You said we might have to.
I said we don't have to.
Oh,
I just usually start
I
with
think
it
we
because
start
it's
with
most
Vinland.
popular. You know, do Vinland, that's fine.
because this, yeah, I feel like we should say the best for last.
Wait, what's the best?
Well, the best to me was either Heavenly Delusion or Hell's Paradise.
Okay. Well, let's do Vinland then.
I just want to do Villain because it was very underwhelming. I feel like.
You thought it was underwhelming? I mean, I
Yeah.
can say that.
I thought it was
Why don't we-
underwhelming.
Where did we leave off? Just with
We left off. Remember, all the guards surrounded him, and then the
Oh,
episode
yeah.
ended. He was
Canute
like,
was
"If
like,
you
you'll
want
have
to
to
stop
kill
me,
me.
you're gonna have to kill
basically.
me." Yeah, and then it picks back up. They're still talking. Thorfinn basically is like, "You're such a smart dude. I can't really argue with that. I'm just gonna keep running away, but I'm gonna find a place where whatever you're doing isn't gonna reach me. So you're making a world for people to live in, and I can't blame you for that. But I'm also making a world that the people that can't be accepted in your world can live. So don't give me hard work and don't make it so that a bunch of people have to come to where I want to, how I want to live. Make it so your way can kind of work for majority of people. So the people that it doesn't work for, it won't be a lot, and they can just come to me." And then he was like, "All right, bet." just
Okay.
like, I mean, that's like the super, super quick synopsis. Obviously, there's a little more depth to it, but that's basically what it was. And then I guess Canute kind of felt he was laughing at him, but I don't think he was really laughing at him. I think he was just like laughing at the fact that this is the most, out of all the peace talks he's had, this is like the most outrageous one, but it makes the most sense, I guess. I don't know. He was like, "You really just came here, you got punched 100 times just to say that? Like, it was nothing more. You're insane." But it made him realize, I guess, that if a bunch of Vikings can create him, then I don't know. There's something more to this. Where I don't know. It
let
was
me
just
describe.
just like, bro,
okay.
why? Why? I
For
thought
anyone. Oh, what are you saying?
I just felt like, I don't know. It felt very Toku no Jutsu
Definitely
Naruto-esque.
talk no jutsu. Definitely. Let me just explain for people maybe who haven't watched Vinland, who are thinking about watching Vinland. So yes, Thorfinn gets punched a bunch of times. Last episode, they just surrounded them. He tried to have a peace talk. Canute's like, "You're gonna have to kill me. We're not gonna have a peace talk." And then Thorfinn is basically just like, well, I think from our perspective, there was a lot of build up this season for Thorfinn finding who he is and deciding how he's going to deal with problems. Personally, I think some people were thinking he was going to fight his way out or fight the king or be turned to a corner like, okay, I have to kill you in order for there to be peace or something of that nature. But it did feel it was just very anticlimactic. It was just like, Thorfinn was just like, okay, well, if you don't really seem, you're a smart guy. If you're going to have all this power and try to create this kingdom where you think is the most peaceful, basically, like, I trust you, and the people who aren't going to be able to live like that, I'm going to create a place for them and do a good job at your kingdom so that it doesn't create more people that have to come to the place that I'm at, is basically what he said.
Yeah.
And then Canute was kind of just like, I think he was more just like dumbfounded. Like, I have never had a peace talk like this before, or talking to anyone who just like, I don't know, like gave up kind of so easily. It was kind of just like, he just basically like gave up on trying to change Canute. He was like, "I'm not really going to try to change you." And then Canute was just kind of like laughed, and he was like, "You're kind of like foolish, but like, I don't know, like, I like you, and if the Vikings could create a person like you, then maybe there is some hope in the world, basically. So then that was kind of just it, and they just kind of just like walked away, and it was
Yeah.
and then,
And then went back to Arnhide's grave.
yeah, and they were looking at Arnhide's grave and I guess praying on it or whatever, just like reminiscing. And Thorgal came and he was like, where is everyone? Like everyone left, like the ships were gone, and like it just cuts to Canute's fleet just like just like going away. And I was just like, wow, okay, well.
And it was a little bit of a time. Well, it wasn't really a time. Well, yeah, it was kind of weird. Like they went into the future, but then came back to the present because they were like, his fleet, his army dwindled down to only 16 ships, and then the land that he was occupying with the military trusted him because he withdrew, and they were like, he believes in us and he allows us to kind of like govern ourselves, and they gain respect towards him for pulling his military out of those areas. So it's like, in turn, his kingdom got stronger and he got more loyal followers because he removed his army. And then it went back to like the present day because all that didn't happen. You know, like he has to sail back home, but they made it seem like it happened in like, you know, a day. So they kind of like time skip. And it's kind of funny because like the dude, his right hand man, and he walked up to him. He was like, when they were leaving, because you were just talking about how it showed them leaving like on the boat. He was like, there's a lot of people, or the Vikings, they're the John's Vikings. They were displeased at what happened because they kind of just left. And he was like, I know it's a bunch of people that don't agree with me, but I also gained a lot of people that do agree with me or follow me for whatever reason. And then he was like, he asked him like, are you one of those people that don't agree? He was like, actually, no, yeah, I agree. I think you should have did this. I thought this was the right thing. And it's also funny because he was the guy who told him like, hey, you know, we probably should pull our army because we don't have the money to do this. And he was like, no, my dead dad is telling me I need to get more power. And it's just like all of this could have been avoided if he just listened to his right hand man and pulled his army, and the people probably would have had the same reaction. Like they're like, oh, he trusts our people to like not try to revolt, but to stay under his, you know, his reign. Like I'm pretty sure when he took over, he didn't like completely change the economy or whatever. It's just like, hey, I'm your new king, but you guys can live pretty much the same way you're living, kind of deal. Not like, I don't know. I feel like all of this could have been avoided if he just listened to the guy who's his right hand man instead of like listening to his dead floating dad head in his mind to get money and power. But, you know, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like
so Canute just basically just had a complete 360 change of heart. He's just like, he dwindled his forces down to like 12 ships. He took all his army out of England. He did not take the farm that he came to take.
Yeah.
He
didn't need to, because the only reason they were taking the farms is because they needed to pay the military. But they got rid of the military, so they don't need to pay the people.
Yeah.
And that's what the dude was telling them. Remember when they were first like, where he was like, retribution or whatever, we're gonna take people's land, and he was like, yeah, we could do that, but we could also just get rid of the army. Like, we don't need this many people. He was like, no, I need more land. I need to show them that I'm a strong king or whatever. He was like, if I remove my armies, people will try to attack me. And it's like, well, which I guess is partially true. That's like fair to say. Like, you just took this land, and if you remove your army right after you took it, people are going to be like, well, we can try to, you know, take it back. But I don't know, bro.
But maybe he didn't have a clear picture or take the time to understand how the English really felt about him being the ruler. Maybe they would have been cool from the very beginning. He just assumed that they wouldn't like him. I don't know. But I see like a foil in characters when you talk about like Ketil and him. Like they both wanted all this land or power or money, and they didn't really have the resources to keep them under control, and they were kind of stretching themselves thin to do that. And I think like Canute in the end, just by talking to Thorfinn, I guess he finally realized like, maybe I don't need all this. And I think for Ketil, I don't know if he's ever,
I don't think Ketil found anything. I think his life is just over. Not over, but like he's gonna be depressed. But his son Omer is like the new head of the house, basically. Like he's the one that went to go talk to, you know, Thorfinn and Einar with Snake and the old master when they like left the ship or they were leaving. So I feel like he's going to be like the new head. I feel like the grandfather also feels that way too. Like he feels like Ketil isn't really, I don't know. I feel like he's had feelings about Ketil, like even though they haven't really mentioned it at all. But that one time he was like, I told my son like it's no reason to have all this land. It makes no sense. But he just doesn't, he doesn't care. He doesn't listen to me. But it's whatever. So I feel like he's also feeling like Omar should, just take over and everything. So
Do you
yeah,
think Kettle isn't fit to do it?
I wouldn't say Ketil
I
was
don't
a fit
know.
because like I'm not gonna lie, his character took a big change, like his perspective, or at least how I look at him. Because remember, I was like, this dude's pretty chill, like he's a nice guy. And then when you think about it, like obviously he's a slave master still, like like it sounds
Yeah.
crazy to say, oh, a slave master is a nice guy, but like compared relative to his peers, especially the guy who Garter was under, he's way nicer. Like he doesn't. It seems like he doesn't really beat or mistreat his slaves for the most part. Like he doesn't even like punishing them really, except for Arnhide when she tried to run away. That's when like he took a turn. And then when you think about like I know you mentioned that one person was like people aren't really thinking about how like he's technically raping Arnhide. Like she doesn't have a choice to whether or not to be like his, I guess I don't want to say girlfriend. Like I don't know. I guess like I don't know. I
Hooker.
guess that's what. Like it's his sex slave. I
His
guess.
sex. Yes, sex slave.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So like, and then when you look at it like that, it's like, damn, that's not that's yeah, that's not really a good guy. But in the context of the story, and
Yeah,
relative to the
and I
other slave
guess.
master we seen,
Yeah, I guess I'm sure there are other slave masters with sex slaves who treat them way worse than he treated Arnhide.
yeah. But so I don't know, because remember I was like, oh, he's a pretty cool guy. Like when he first got Einer, and he was like, yeah, you guys can do all this, like, and then after 3 years, once you cultivate the land, like
Yeah.
I'll let you guys sell it back to me and for your freedom and everything. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like most people would be like, no, you're my slave for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, yeah, you can earn your freedom. It was really an indentured like servitude, which I guess is not really like your traditional form of slavery, but I don't know.
I feel like
But
he
it's
was a
funny
nice
because like
guy up
I don't
until
feel
the point.
bad like Canute. I never really I don't want to say I disliked him or I liked him. I was kind of indifferent. Like he didn't make me feel any type of way for real. Except when he killed his brother, I was like, damn, what the fuck? Like he was like
Yeah, I
we could,
didn't like that.
like we could lead together. He was like we can, be in power together and build like a relationship of our two lands. Kind of being like two countries that are the same like the same, but they're not the same. But they work together so much that if
Yeah,
you're
like
in either part,
allies.
yeah, exactly, like allies. But he was like, no, I just want everything. And that was like the only sus thing really that he did. And then he poisoned people, which
I feel
obviously
like he
is
didn't
sus too.
trust anyone. Like I feel like it was less about he wanted absolute power and more just like he didn't trust anyone. Like he didn't
You
trust
don't
his
think he trusted
brother.
his brother?
Nah, he's. I'm pretty sure that's what he said when he was talking to the head. He was like, one day he's
No, but
gonna
remember he
try to
said he
want the
killed him is
power.
because he said he killed him the reason he killed him was because he felt like among the public it would be, some people would feel like I'm the true king or he's the true king, and even though we're not at odds with each other, that would cause like the people of the land to be at odds against each other, and then that would result into them having to fight because you got a group of people that say no, he's the true king, and another group of people says no, he's the true king. It's like, why is there not one unified kingdom? Why are we listening to two different people? And then that would force his hand into saying like, okay, well, one of us has to, you know, take hold of everything, or else it'll just be like all out civil war, basically.
I thought he just didn't trust him because he thought one day he would want to be the one ruler. So I thought he was just trying to
It
get
could
to
be
him
both though.
first.
It could be both. I kind of feel
Yeah,
like because he did mention that he felt like the people would be like, why is there two different kings? And I do think he also mentioned what you said, like his brother might try to come after power too. But he could have just talked it out with him. Like they could have just had a conversation. And
yeah.
if the answers didn't come up how he wanted them to, then he gets poisoned. But he just was like, I mean, I'm not saying he should have did that regardless, but if he was going to poison him, you could have at least sat down and talked to him before poisoning him and then showing up to his deathbed like, hey, I hope you get better.
Yeah.
Lying to his face.
Like, how'd this happen?
Yeah. And then he's having memories of how his brother used to be nice to him when he was a kid. Yeah. All right. Now you're sorry. That's crazy. But I don't know. This whole season for me, I felt like the ending so far. I mean, the next episode is called Hometown, so I'm looking forward to that.
I feel like this episode really felt like the finale.
What, this episode? The ending was like, it had the text and it was like no sound. It was music and it was showing everybody in their respective time, like areas during that time after everything happened. And it was saying, I forgot what the quote said, but it was
carve
quotes,
it and
carve it into me,
this,
carve it into my flesh, carve it into So, but next episode I think is going to be very lighthearted, and I'm looking forward to it because he's finally going to see his mom and his sister. If his mom is still alive, his mom should still be alive, and his sister should be like freaking. She was already super strong, so she's probably like crazy now, like the leader of the village and whatnot. And I think that would just be cool to see everybody's reactions to seeing him again, and then his reaction to like being back home. Yeah. So that would be cool.
Yeah, it didn't really end abruptly. They just left off and on the ship. Did they even leave? Oh, they did leave with Leaf. I was confused for a second.
Yeah, they left with Leaf. They were on the ship talking too,
Okay.
like when they were leaving. Cause Snake told him his real name.
Oh yeah, I forgot it though.
Yeah, I did too. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Oh.
Like, I think it's like a respect thing. Like, he's like, this is my real name, but I don't think it means anything more to the story.
And Peter is alive.
Yeah, he got his arm cut off.
That was...
Or his, like, forearm. Or did he just lose his hand?
I think his arm is just injured from the picture I'm seeing.
Oh, okay.
It's just in a sling. I don't think it's, like, off or anything. But, yeah, that was kind of abrupt, too, because they were like, is he alive or not? And then he just, like, pops up. Like,
oh, yeah, when they were walking, he was like, don't look in through those bodies, because if you see Peter, then you're just going to lose your mind. Remember, he was like, your emotions are going to take over.
Yeah.
Before they went to go talk to Canute.
Okay. So overall, were you disappointed?
I'll say this season as a whole, because I was one of the people like, I like it. I like, him coming into himself, finding his personality, who he is. And I felt like that all of that was done when he fought against Snake and he realized I will have to use violence selectively to get peace.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, and I was like, I was okay with that because his dad did the same thing. Because remember when Floki, that's the John's Viking leader, he set him up with Askeladd. He was like, hey, I need you to kill Thors. And then they ambushed him in the valley on the ship. And then Thors was like, like he's a true warrior. He's like, I'm not really trying to fight. Like, you guys don't understand. War is not a real thing. Like, it's not what you think it is. Like, war is not fun. Like, I know you guys want to go to war. And then when they went there, he fought all the people. He didn't kill any of them. He just like injured them to the point where they were like incapacitated basically. And he was like, hey, just let us go. They only want me, just take me, basically, kind of thing. And he fought for the peace of the rest of the crew and all the kids and his son and everybody else who came with him. And I thought he would understand, like, okay, sometimes I will have to use violence to defend what I would need to defend, but I don't have to do it to the point where I have to kill somebody or I have to go overboard. And that's kind of how I felt he took Snake when he was trying to protect Garter and Arnhide. But then he kind of just completely like reverted back after he took 100 punches to the face and went up to Canute and was like, I'm just going to run away forever. So I'm like, all right, well, so like, I don't know, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying him running is a bad thing. Like, I understand it, but there has to be times when you're willing to fight. And it's looking like he's just like 100% pacifist, never going to do anything, never going to punch anybody, never going to hurt anybody. So I don't know.
Maybe there's like a scale to it. Maybe when he sees like Canute and his army, he's like, realistically, I can't stop a whole kingdom or army by myself. And if I did take down the leader, I wouldn't be able to replace that leader or do anything to stabilize a country. So maybe he's just like, realistically, I can't really do anything about you. So like, if when it comes to my territory that I'm building, maybe that's when he would feel the need to use violence if necessary.
Yeah.
I understand where he's coming from. Like, even if he were to like fight Canute and kill him, it would be like,
No, I'm not saying he
what's
should have killed
next?
Canute or tried to fight Canute, but it's mainly the 100 punch thing. Like, he did gain respect
Yeah, that
from
was
everybody
silly.
who was watching, but it's like at the same time, you probably could have gained that same amount of respect if you just one shot at him in front of everybody and was like, all right, now let me go talk to the king.
Yeah, the
You know what I'm
100
saying?
punches thing is still silly to me.
So that's the biggest thing to me. I didn't expect him to try to fight Canute or try to kill Canute, but the 100 punch thing was like, all right, bro. Like, all right, come on now. His reasoning is like good too for it. He was saying like, I never met you, never met me. So for me to come up here and try to fight you, that would be, how would that look? Even though he
Yeah.
explained why he came up here and who he wanted to talk to and what he was trying to do. But I guess that would have been like, oh, he just fought a top, guard or whatever. So what's to say he won't try to trick us and get close to Canute and then once he's there, try to pull something, So I guess I can understand from that perspective, but I don't know. Like these past 2 episodes have kind of made me feel like the season was a waste, low key.
What? A waste?
Yeah,
Why do you feel like it was a waste?
Because like the climax of the season didn't live up to. Like I felt like we got enough of who he was after the whole Arnhide thing. If you get what I'm saying, like I feel like his character development for the season ended and was at his apex to me after the Arnhide incident.
Okay.
Like after that runaway slave arc, I felt like everything we needed to know about him was there. Like he wants peace, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to avoid violence at every cost as if he can, but if it comes down to it, he will use it to fight for peace. But that's like last resort. But then we get to the 100 punch thing, which I think is just dumb. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's just stupid. It's dumb. Like I feel like it makes no sense. I don't get why he would fight Snake, but then he would take 100 punches.
Yeah, I don't really get that plot point either.
So I don't know.
I mean, I guess with Snake, there was no other option. Like, Snake was going to kill Garter. But with the 100 punches
I
thing,
mean, Garter still died. He still died. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. He fought him, and then he got to him, and he still died.
Yeah. You live and you learn, I guess. I don't know. I guess, like, if he did fight him, I guess there was no guarantee that all of them, that he would have got the same respect. But I feel like he would have got some respect if he just beat him in a fight.
I do too.
So I don't know. I wasn't really disappointed by this episode. I was honestly, I was kind of impressed that, like,
that he got Canute to change his mind. That impressed you?
Because I was like, what? Like, I think I was like as confused as Canute was. Like in that moment when he was like, I'll just run away. I was just like, what? Like, I just wasn't expecting that at all, and I felt as confused as Canute. And then Canute's reaction was like so funny, and just like, you know what? Like, you were really like different and weird and silly, but like, I like you still. And it just changed his complete mindset, and he just did a whole 360, and that was like so funny to me. And then I was just like, well, okay, everything's kind of wrapped up, and it just felt like so anticlimactic, but like, I feel like that was like the whole season, really. Like, everything that you thought would have been like a fight or something kind of ended anticlimactically. Like, even with the war, or like, I don't know, like the war was supposed to be like a.
But remember,
a huge
I was
thing
saying,
that we built up in
I
our
still
heads.
wanted Thor. I wanted Thor because my prediction was like they would get peace, like like they were talking out. And basically what happened is what I predicted, like, he would lead a farm and stuff. But I thought Thorgal was going to show up last minute and cause mayhem. That's what I wanted. That's really what I wanted. I'm not going to lie. That would have been, like the pinnacle of like, all right, I'm going to lead a farm, talked it out, cool. But then Thorgal shows up and then just starts going ballistic, but ends up dying. Yeah, but ends up dying right before he gets to Canute. Like he just, chopped down all these people. But Canute still has his, he still agrees with Thorfinn, but he just threatened my life, so we had to get him out of here. Like it's nothing more. You know what I'm saying? Like it had to be that. That's what it is. But we're not going to take that out on the rest of the farm because he's not even the head of the house. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man.
Yeah, there wasn't.
I
Really,
do
like,
think next
that
episode is going
climax.
to change my mind. I'm gonna be happy for next episode, but it was just like I don't know. I just feel like they wasted so much time. Like if it was just going to be him being like, all right, I agree with you, I'm gonna leave. They could have did that in like 5 minutes, and then you know what I'm saying. But
I don't know. This show is very like deep, so like I'm trying to like understand like what would be the reasons for making it like this, where it's like so anticlimactic and just like I don't know. I was impressed by the fact that the whole first season was just like
it's so
fighting and like
Yeah.
insanity and all this other stuff. And then I was just impressed that they made this season so interesting, despite there being barely any fighting in it. So that was my take on that. And this episode really felt like a finale. So I'm gonna be very surprised if next episode can top that as far as feeling like an ending. Because
I think it will.
They had the whole like they like
Going
went
back
off
home.
on the boat and like they had the
Yeah.
music and the showing all the different characters.
You know what it is? I feel like this next episode, I don't want to say filler, but it'll feel like not a filler episode because it has context to the story, but just like, hey, here's something to show like he's back home. Just showing him at home, but it's not
Okay.
really, you get what I'm saying? Like it's not. I don't know. It's weird how I'm trying to explain it, but some shows have things like that where it's not necessarily a filler episode, but it doesn't necessarily really add to the story, but
Like
it's still canon.
like a prologue, but like at the end,
Yeah. So epilogue.
epilogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's all I got to say about Vinland
Yes,
this week.
I don't got more to say about it.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Demon Slayer? I think
Yeah,
most
we
of the
could do
episode
Demon
was just
Slayer.
backstory, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mainly just backstory. She was the love Hashira was fighting Upper Four, and she was just chopping up his dragons, got close to him, was about to behead him basically, but then Tanjiro was yelling like, "That's not the main body," and then he opened his mouth and did the vibration thing, like the beam, and like
Yeah.
destroyed. He didn't really destroy her,
That
but
reminded me of
she
like
tensed
Piccolo
up.
or something.
Yeah, she tensed up, but she like flexed her whole body to absorb the impact, and then she was just
Yeah.
kind of like stuck, but she was able to withstand the blast. And then he was like, "All right, well," like he said something. The demon said something about her body. He was like, "She is like her frame does not match her strength. Like she's super strong in comparison to how her body looks. Like she
Like
is
her
extremely
BMI
strong."
is like off.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, this is good because if I eat strong opponents, I gain more strength." And so he was but he was like, "First, let me like crush your brain or smash your skull."
Yeah,
I'm like,
it
"Oh
was-
my god." I'm like, "Oh my god, bro." And then he was about to punch her in the face, and then it does the whole flashback. We get her backstory. She's basically is like an anomaly. She's been strong since she was a baby, abnormally strong. She also kind of second guessed herself when she was growing up because she wanted to build a family and get like a husband. And she talked about that too in the like I want to say the first or second episode. She was like, "I became a Hashira because I want to find someone who's stronger than me so I can have a family with them." Basically, like I need a husband who's stronger than me. And she was like, "That's why I became a Hashira because I want to find somebody who's stronger than me." And so she goes over that, and basically she got like not neglected, but
Her first husband dropped her off the
yeah,
roster.
it was a interview. It was a interview, and he was like, "Yeah, you can just tell them like it went bad and it's not going to happen."
I forgot his reasons.
You got
though.
green
Wasn't
hair.
like because of her hair and
Yeah, he was
something
like, "You
else.
got green hair. Imagine passing that down to my kids. Like, what the heck do I look like?" And the only person that'll marry you is like a boar or an animal or something, because like you eat too much and you're super strong. I'm like,
Oh
these
yeah, I
reasons
forgot
are
that
so.
she ate a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, these reasons are so dumb, but okay. Anyway, and then she went back home and she was all sad. And then her parents was like, it's okay, you can live with us forever. And then she was just like, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
You could have at
basically.
least said, no, you're fine, someone. Not, oh, it's okay, you can just stay here with us forever. And then she started like hiding who she was. She dyed her hair black and she was like, I gotta act like I'm not strong and I don't like to eat all the time and stuff. And then she was about to, she did another interview and then she was like, no, I can't do that. I gotta be myself. And then it was flashbacks to her talking to the leader of the
The Demon
Demon
Slayer
Slayer
Corps.
Corps. He was like, anybody who talks down on you or says you shouldn't be this way are just jealous and they want to be as strong as you. And then it showed her with the snake Hashira,
Yeah.
and I don't know if she likes him. I don't know if he likes her. He was just looking out the window. I don't think it's more to
He
that
just
than
seems
him
like
just
a
looking out the
very
window.
just like not
Yeah, but I think she
exactly
likes him. I
shy,
think
like
she does
aloof
like him.
character.
I don't think he's even shy. I think he's just like, yeah, you can have these socks. Because he was looking out the window at something. It wasn't like he was looking at the wall. It was a window. And then he looked back at her after he gave them to her, like, yeah, you can just have these. He was like, if they get messed up, it's fine. Like, I'll just get you some more. I think he's literally just
You don't
like a
think that's
carefree.
his version of being shy?
No, I don't know. I think that's just him. Because he's like
Okay.
his character just seems kind of weird in general. Like, whenever we see him. So I don't think he's like shy. I just think that's how he is. But I think she might. I might be reaching. You know how like they do like fan relationships
Like
or whatever. It's
ships?
probably front fan ships. That's probably one of them. But she was like she felt like super good about those socks. So I don't know. And he's a Hashira and he's super strong. So it just matches. Like what she's looking for. It just lines up
Yeah.
if that's the case. If it's not, it's whatever. But
I could see it.
so it shows that, and then it cuts back to all of them saying we have to save her. She's our only hope. She's the strongest. And then she was like, I'll never lose to a villain like you. Da 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 da. Evil people. And then they keep fighting. And then she gets a mark, a demon crest. That's what he was like. This looks like a demon crest, which is different than what. At least I think it's different than what Tanjiro and the other
Luichiro?
Morichiro have, because he didn't say it's a demon crest. He was like, it's a mark.
Yeah, he said like a
So-
demon mark. I don't know.
No, he said he said hers was a demon crest. He was like, it's a demon crest. That looks
So
like a
you
demon
think it's
crest.
different.
I think it's different, but I don't think what they have is called a demon crest. I could be wrong, but hers literally was like a heart and line. It looks like a legit thing. Theirs were just like flames and clouds on their face.
I don't know. All I know is that when they like revealed that, I was like, okay, the demon marks are getting less special.
Yeah,
Now
I
there's,
felt
like,
the
three
same way. I'm
people.
like, why does like everybody just have one? Like what
Like
what
before,
is
I was
this?
like, okay, Tanjiro having one, like that's interesting for his character. Like he doesn't really know much about his family line, and like his dad memory was his dad, and this other guy who looks like his dad is like interesting. But then Tokido have one, or Michiyo, and then this girl has one. I'm like, all right, who else has one?
But I don't know. I think they'll explain it. I just don't think they're the same. I think Morichiro and Tanjiro's, I think what theirs are because of their bloodline. I don't think hers is the same. Cause he didn't say that's the mark. That's the same mark that Muzan told us to worry about. He was just like, that looks like a demon crest. Whereas the other dude was like, this dude has marks too. When Morichiro got one, and
So
when the
what do
other
you
one
think
seemed,
the difference would be though?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I just don't think it's the same thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's the same thing. Because like, why would they not say, oh, Tanjiro also has a demon crest?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was the same thing. I feel like it is the same thing, but it could be different. And we still don't know. Speaking of like demon stuff, we still don't know what Genya is. We got,
I
like,
mean,
a
I
little bit of
feel like
information.
he's just a human who eats demons and he gets power ups. That's basically what he said. He was like, I eat demons, and when I get them, I get
that's
their
not a
traits.
regular thing. They still haven't explained it. Anything.
I mean, but he said, he was like, I eat demons, and then once I eat them, I get like a power up, and I become stronger.
But like, why? Like, what is that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure other people can too. They just don't eat them.
So you think all humans are probably like that?
Yeah, if they eat demons, they'll get like a power up. Probably.
I don't know, man. I need more
But
explanation.
it's probably
than
just
this.
so taboo. It's probably very taboo.
Possibly.
And it's like, don't do that.
I don't know. I need more explanation. Because if he can eat demons and just get power ups, like what's stopping him from just turning into a full on demon?
I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that.
Okay, if he eats a demon with Muzan's blood, like why wouldn't he turn into a demon?
I feel like consuming it and being injected with the blood is not the same.
Okay. Well, I need an explanation still. This has been one
Like,
of the biggest
it's like-
mysteries of this season. And it still
That's
has
just-
no info.
I just feel like like, think about it like this. Like, if you were to eat a cow, right? This sounds so stupid. Like, let's say
Yeah.
you eat a hamburger, right? That's not the same as if somebody took cow blood and injected it into your body, like into your bloodstream.
I
You
know
know what I'm
that's
saying?
not the same. Yeah.
So,
Like someone like getting an IV with like water isn't the same as like drinking water.
yeah.
Something like I know. But
So-
I need some info. There's weird stuff going on. But I mean, that was basically all the episode was. It was just her backstory. She probably has like
Yeah.
one of the least saddest backstories of the
Yeah,
show
and
so
that
far.
like that debugged. I mean, we kind of already debugged it ourselves. Like the us saying all the Demon Slayers got the same background, because we were like, we only got like 2 or 3 of them, and two of them are related. Well, 4 of them are like their family got killed by demons. Tanjiro, Morichiro, Genya, and then his brother. So it's really only 3 of them, because 2 of them share the same backstory. But then we were like, it's only 3 out of like the 7 or 8 Hashira we know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then this just kind of proved like, yeah, she has a really normal life. She just wanted to find a strong person.
chose. That's all.
Yeah. Literally. She wanted to be chose.
She wanted to be chose. That's all.
Oh my God, bro. That just made me think about, you remember back when everybody used to have like she chose in their like Instagram? I don't know
Yeah.
if they used to be like she chose and then their name, like she chose.
Yeah,
me.
I know what you're talking about.
That just made me think of that. Oh my God, bro. That looks crazy.
That's really all she is. So,
And
yeah,
that's
I
really
mean, and then next
to the
week we just
episode.
got a 70-minute finale, I think.
Yeah, hour-long finale. Yep.
We should talk about Hell's Paradise next guy. I got a hot take on Hell's Paradise
Okay.
for that.
Go ahead.
I think that they delayed it for a week.
Oh yeah,
So
I
they
seen you
could get
tweet
out
that.
of the
Or
way.
I think you tweeted it or you posted. I seen that. You said they were ducking the finale smoke.
I think they need to get. I think they were trying to get out of the way. They were like, you know what? This show we got sort of a lot riding on it. People are calling it part of the Shonen Dark trio. We don't want it competing with these other shows. We're gonna set it back a week because we don't want it going against Demon Slayers, our finale, and Vinland Saga's finale, which is also part of Mappa, and these other shows. That's what I think. That's my conspiracy theory.
I mean, that's fair. I don't think anybody's not going to watch it. I don't think people are going to compare finales. I mean, we might on
I don't
here
compare
like say,
finales.
I know, like we will, but I'm saying like the average viewer, like who's just watching, they'd be like, oh, this finale was better, or I don't know, maybe they would, but I wasn't going into it thinking like, oh, which show had the better finale, because I think Demon
Yeah.
Slayer's gonna have the best one. I mean, it's an hour long, and it's just how they do, like they go over the top with the animation and the fights are
true.
crazy, and
But
So
Heavenly
I'm already
Delusion might be
expecting-
really good.
yeah, Heavenly Delusion. I think that'll be good. Don't they got 2 episodes left too?
No, it's just the last one next week.
Oh, last one's next week. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Or this week on Saturday.
Yeah, this week.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I think
Everyone's finales are
I'm
coming
still
out.
riding on my prediction, man. I think it's right. Yeah, we're not talking about the show yet, but it's looking like what I said is right
We can
based
talk
on
about
what they're doing. I mean, we got to talk about Heavenly Delusion though. You said you want to talk about that.
Oh, I don't care. We can do Heavenly first, and then Hell's. I don't care.
All right.
So what
Heavenly
were you-
was really just like a recap of what, or not even a recap. It was just like talking about if you want to become like a god level person, you have to be in tapped with like the universe. which is Tile or Tao, essentially. It's
You're
like
talking about
Ultra
Hell's.
Instinct.
You're talking about Hell's Paradise.
Yeah. My fault.
Okay.
My fault. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's really all the episode was. They were just breaking down what Tao is and like how you have to, if you want to compete with a god or be as strong as a god, you have to be entwined with the universe
wasn't
and
like
the essence.
wasn't like one of the tensen talking about it, and then the blind master was talking about
The blind
a
master was
similar
talking about
thing?
it. Yeah, they all three people were talking about it. Like the Tenzin, the blind master, and the tree dude. All three of them just so happened to be talking about the same thing at the same time, but in
They
different perspectives.
Yeah, they said different terminology for it.
Yeah, because
And
the
then
blind dude was like, he almost has it, but he can't like utilize it. Like he can see it and feel it, but he can't tap into it 100%. Whereas Gabimaru basically he can use it. Like he can use it. Which makes sense because like they're gonna end up fighting the Tenzin and they're gonna need at least 3 to 4 people that can use Tao or be able to tap into that that plane of being or whatever you want to call it to fight the Tenzin to win.
Wait, are you talking about Gabimaru or the bandit chief?
Gabimaru.
Oh, okay.
Gabimaru has it for sure. The bandit chief has it too, but he can't like use it.
Okay.
Because he got clapped. You seen him get clapped. Like
Yeah.
it was like he was like, I see you have it, but you're just like too wild, and I can see a weakness.
I was
And then he
upset
just
about
like,
that. I was like, bro, he got packed again.
but I don't think he's dead though. I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead either.
And
He's
then we find out they sent out little scouts to scout the enemy team to see like what's their how good they are to like just bring back a freaking a scouting report like, all right, this guy can do this guy can do this is what you got to worry about. Which is like funny.
Well, you talking
And
about the
they're
guys
and
that
they're
are,
like
part not
What,
part
Tenzin?
Tenzin, but like kind of more humanoid.
I think they're like the monsters, except they're like they're intelligent. Because he was saying like the only difference between me and the monsters they send out is that I can think. They're just stupid.
Okay. It's
When he was explaining to the bandit chief, and the bandit chief was just like, I don't even think he was listening. He was just like, I don't care, bro.
yeah.
Like he just tried to go kill him, and then so I kind of predicted that I will originally I thought that the bandit chief was going to turn into a monster when he got sent in the hole, but he wasn't going to like get converted into like a flower. He was going to stay and keep his brain and stay like fully conscious or whatever.
while being like
Yeah.
a monster.
Yeah, but then we find those people, so I was like semi right, semi wrong.
Instead, he's just eating the monsters.
Yeah.
Which is maybe why, because the dude asks him while they're fighting, he's like, have you like consumed like Tao or something? So maybe him
He
like
said
eating
that?
the monsters is like helping him.
Yeah, that could be a thing too. Yeah.
And then they also had the pink haired girl that say Gabimaru. She was like trying to explain too.
Yeah,
But
she
she was
just
just
kept
like,
saying the same
"Yeah."
thing.
Nah. She's like, I don't know. I forgot what she was saying, but
Was it like
she
strength, power, weakness, something?
yeah, something like that. Like she just kept repeating the same words.
Yeah.
And then we were right about the guy playing a part, the samurai dragon
Yeah.
guy.
That was pretty sweet when they were like having. It reminded me of Dragon Ball Z. You know how when I don't know if you remember when they were going to Namek, it was Krillin and Gohan, but they were just like sitting across from each other, crisscross with their eyes closed, and they were sparring mentally
Yeah.
in their head. That was pretty sweet. How he was like, I can't kill him, or if I try to go after his arm, I might be able to damage him, and then it would show what would happen, and they both, either way it went, they both would be like heavily damaged, or one might die and the other one would be like severely damaged. And then the guy next to him was like, all right, that's enough. This is like pointless. And he can see it too. Like, even though he's not the one in the battle, he can see them mentally fighting each other. That was pretty sweet.
And then like a long line of monsters comes up and he just like slices all of them. And
Yeah.
he's like, well, I'm going to learn it right now. Like whatever you're
Yeah,
talking
and he
about.
also was like, I want to be immortal, but he was like, I don't want to drink the elixir. I just want to have a story that gets passed down and people never forget my name. He was like, that's true immortality.
Yeah,
Which was like, I was surprised. I was like, wow, that's like that's actually kind of deep. Like I didn't expect him to have
I didn't expect
that
that
much
either.
depth to his character.
I thought he just like fighting people.
Yeah, same. So,
Okay.
and they teamed up and they made a pact.
And then
Because I remember I was like, why do you want to fight me? Like that makes no sense. Why do you want to kill him? I was like, that's so dumb. Like you come across him all damaged and the first thing you want to do is try to kill him. So that I'm glad that didn't happen that way.
Yeah, and I feel like it would have eliminated like a suitable character to actually fight against the main enemy.
Yeah, I feel like everybody who's alive right now is who's gonna stay. I mean, it's only one episode left, but this is the group that's gonna try to fight the Tensen.
And the only other thing, I think the blind master was trying to teach the little girl how to fight. Well, not really.
Yeah, he wasn't teaching her. He was like, I'm not gonna teach you, but you can just watch. And
yeah,
even though he's explaining to her, he's like, I'm not gonna like physically show you, because he's like, I'm tired of all my students dying. And she was like, well, I want to get strong so I can avenge his death, and I'm tired of people dying because I'm too weak to fight back or do anything about it.
It's like he's teaching her, but not really. Like he's teaching her, but he doesn't want to feel like he's fully committing to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So, okay. And besides that, yep, my dude just got packed again. Just giving me Vegeta vibes. That's all. He's a Vegeta. He's a Bakugo of this show. That's fine. I don't know why I tend to like characters like this. I feel like
you
I
didn't
always
know he was gonna get packed up.
I know, but I always tend to like the characters that like I like them and then they get beat, but they don't necessarily die.
Yeah,
they just keep coming back. But that's
you like Todoroki though.
Showed
Do you like Todoroki?
Not really. I mean, I like him, but he's not one of my favorites.
Okay.
No. And then Heavenly Delusion, that's kind of scary. Well, some parts were scary.
Like what?
Like when she looked into the girl's eye with the sunglasses, and then she got
stabbed.
Yeah.
At first, I thought that was the actual place. I'm like, whoa.
I thought it was too. I thought it was a robot.
I thought they set her up. Like, hey, come, we planted this fake kid here. And the robots just mutilate her. I'm like, oh my God. Because remember, she kept saying, I can see things people can't. So I thought they were like, hearing, like, all right, we gotta get rid of this one. She's about to cause,
So let me start at the beginning. In the beginning, is it the lady talking about switching the brain? Is that the beginning of the episode?
It was. I think the beginning of the episode is her talking to the scientist guy
with the glasses.
Because he was like, "Why did you pick her? It doesn't make any sense," or whatever. And then she was like, "Well, I'm trying to see." She wants to create heaven on earth, basically. That's like their goal. Is heaven on earth, a paradise where people can't die or they can't get sick and everybody's like healthy or whatever. And then she was like, I'm going to transplant my brain into her body so I can keep on living, so I can see this thing.
But she was sick when she was explaining. She was like, she wanted to be the assistant director. So that means one day she wanted to be the director.
Yeah. So that's that's how we going to do things. And he was like, what? Without her consent? And she was like, I don't care. What do you mean? I don't care. And then she also was like, all the hope is on what's her name's baby?
Tokyo.
Tokyo's baby, which I'm not quite understanding yet. Yeah. So
then that conversation happens, and then it cuts to our Maru and Kiruko, and then it switches to Robin at that factory with all the smoke.
At that factory. Yeah, Robin's at the factory, and he's doing stuff there.
So we know for sure that he's
still alive.
But he did look sketchy though. He looks pretty sketchy.
He looks older. He has like a scruffle on his face. It looks like he's stressed out and he hasn't slept because he's probably figured something out and he's like, God damn, I can't get this shit to work.
I
Because
don't
there was
know.
a bunch of lights on. It was like a giant factory.
Yeah, it's weird
So,
that for a place to have that much power
yeah.
in
So,
like this times. Do you think he's gonna be a good guy or a bad guy?
I think he'll be a good guy, but I think he'll be a bad guy in the eyes of the main characters because what he's trying to do doesn't align with what they think, maybe. So, I think he'll be a good guy, but it's like, it's weird. Like, for the better outcome, he might have to do some shady stuff, but it's like, I have to do it kind of deal.
Okay. Because right now he looks kind of villainous to me, so I don't know. But
It
they
might
just
not even be Robin. It might be the doctor transplanted his brain into Robin's head.
dang you. Well,
What?
I don't know. Like you
Why'd
mean
you
like the
say
old
dang? Is that what
lady?
you're going to predict? No, 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 no. The
No.
other doctor. Remember how it was when they were first, when she was like, the doctor did the transplant on me and my
Oh, the
brother,
one
and
with
he
the
just
scar.
disappeared. Yeah,
Could be. I don't know. That would be. Now we're doing more brain transplant stuff, so I don't know. Um, but hopefully he's not a villain. 'Cause that'll be really disappointing for Kiriko. But I guess we'll
yeah,
see. And then they switch back to the school. We got I think her name's Mime Hime. The girl looks like Kiriko,
yeah.
and she was just like chilling outside. I think she was like planting like water,
We
like
find out she has like animal ears, which makes sense because like
yeah.
we always seen. I thought that was just her hair, but it's like bat ears
And it was just like all of a sudden, like I feel like before they weren't there, and then this
with
episode
the
they just
ears.
kept popping out. Yeah,
Oh well, they've always been there, but she never lifted them up and used them to hear.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like I feel like this is the first episode where they were like lifting up,
Yeah,
and like when it first happened, I was like, what? Like what the? Like it just caught me off guard. Um, but then the Stevie Wonder girl walks over to her, and or no, she's just like sitting down, like playing like some kind of instrument, and then I think Mimi walks over because she's like alone, and then she's like, "Why are you so
yeah. She
alone?"
asked like, "Why are you alone?" And she was like, "All the other kids say I'm annoying." And then she was like, "You're not annoying." And then she took, because she was crying, she took her glasses off and tried to wipe her tears. And then that's when
Yeah,
the freaking building just like opens up. There's a bunch of
because
needles and
she was
knives and syringes and
Tsukiyomi,
stuff. Yeah.
she was
And
a
then
Sharingan.
we find out that she actually didn't get stabbed 1,000 times. It was all in her head.
I
And
find like it's funny that the same power created like the second most or equally most like terrifying scene of this show for me.
yeah, I'm assuming that man eater was that girl.
You think the girl turned into a man eater, like a full man eater?
Yeah, I mean, we find out when you die, you turn into a man eater. If
But
you
I
have
thought
man
that's
eater
if you
in
were
you,
sick.
I think they're the OGs,
What do you mean the OGs?
like
What do you
the
mean?
original, like Patient Zero man eaters. Those kids in that school.
So you think they like grew older and then they just turned into man eaters?
They grew older and died, yeah, and then turned into
Oh,
man
then
eaters.
they died.
But
Into man
remember, there's
eaters.
already kids. There was a kid that already got sick and died. So they might not be sick right now, but when they get older, they probably got sick and then died.
Okay.
Because the old lady who wants to do the brain transplant, she was like, how did they get sick? Like, are any more of them sick? What has happened to, like, she was asking the doctor, like, can this happen to the other kids? He was like, we don't know. Like, we don't know. So I
Maybe
think
is
they
that why
all.
they cremate them? Then?
I mean, when they cremated him, that mask came out, remember? And they didn't know what that was. And that's why I'm saying that that man eater is what's going to come out in like force. Remember, they were all in the pool in this episode, and it was no teacher around,
Yeah, that
but
was scary too.
and they were like, "All right, you're going to be faced with a decision. You can either stay or you can run, and you won't know when like this test is going to happen, but when it happens, you just have to make your decision." And what I think is going to happen, he was like, the power's going to go out, and it's going to allow them a chance to leave. When he was talking to the other the assistant, because they devised this plan together. And so
Yeah.
what I think is going to happen is Maru and is the baby, the twin, who got taken out of the place. And then the other twin we haven't seen yet at all, because that's the one that stayed inside when when whatever happens.
Okay. Well,
And then I
guess
think
we'll
that
see.
a man eater is going to be let loose because that mask is still in the building,
But do you think
and they
that
don't know what it is.
like the guy with the glasses and the assistant director, let the man eater be loose?
I don't think they let it be loose. I think it's just going to go loose. I think their original plan was to just allow the students to choose if they want to stay or leave, but they're not realizing that mask is a man eater. And it just so coincidentally happens that when they do this test, that thing becomes alive too, simultaneously. Okay. That's what I think is going to happen. So it's just going to be coincidental.
There was also this weird part where Mime was like in front of the artist guy who was like sick in bed, because he said he was like feeling the same things as Tokyo. You remember that? He was like, me and Tokyo are like connected right now. Like I feel like sick.
Yeah, I can feel what she feels, and yeah.
And then like she like hallucinated like a big like man eater.
That's like, him as a man eater in the future.
You think that's him?
Yes. She was like, I can see things. She was like, it's almost like I can see the future, but I can't tell if it's like going to happen now. Or you remember, she was like, I can see things that's going to happen, but I don't know if they're going to happen right now. She was like, sometimes it feels like something's going to happen within the next few minutes, when really it won't happen until the next few days. And sometimes I feel like something won't happen until the next few days, and it happens in the next few minutes.
Okay.
So I think she can see the future, and she's seeing it. I think all of them are man eaters, because we saw the babies. Remember, we saw the babies when Sue, I'm gonna call her Sue because I don't know her name, but she looks just like Sue from My Hero, took Tokyo. I said Tokyo. Is that her name, Tokyo?
Yeah, it's Tokyo.
Tokyo to see the babies. Remember, she was like, look at the babies, and all the babies were like half man eater, half human.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that class of kids were those were in the same situation those other babies were in, but now they're like, toddlers or whatever, and now they introduce them to the rest of the group, and then when they die, they become man eaters fully. So that's what I think. That's what it looks like to me.
Okay.
So yeah,
I guess we'll see. When I saw the big man eater like putting blood all over the floor like she was seeing, I thought that was maybe like the man eater you were saying that like maybe got let loose and they didn't know about.
It could be that too. I think that's probably more realistic, honestly, now that you've mentioned it. I didn't even think about it like that.
But
that could be true. I still do think they turned into man eaters though. Like I think that little girl with the sunglasses definitely turned into that man eater that was in the basement of that facility.
But then
like they might not explicitly say it
there though.
She probably escaped too, with the rest of them.
Oh, you're saying like maybe she died there, like in that area?
No. Not. I think she got older, but she died eventually, and that's where she ended up as a man eater in the basement.
But what about like the spider man eater that does the ice and like the little baby boy that
does the ice too? That could be his mom. Bro, think about it. All the women were dead. All the women were gone.
Or they're saying he knows who killed that specific mother of like that child.
But he was saying he knew that. He didn't know for sure, but he was saying, I knew that was you. But even then, so look, let's say regardless, right? From what from our understanding is that when Maru and what's the other girl's name? Maru and
Kiruko?
And Kiruko. Remember when they went to help what's her name die as a human? And yes. Maru did the fatal drive, and they talked to fatal dive, and they talked to the doctor, who's not really a doctor, but he was just creating, like prosthetics for people. He was like, yeah, what happens is when you get sick with the disease, you die and you turn into a man eater, right?
Right.
So Maru did the Maru touch, and he negated or whatever, killed that mass the man-eater disease inside of her, right? The core is what he calls it. So when she dies, she can't turn into a man-eater because the core is dead. But so even if that dude killed the baby's mom, he didn't kill her with a fatal dive to like destroy that core. So she's dead, right? He probably did kill her. But once she died, the man-eater turned into a man-eater and became the spider. And her baby has the same powers as that man-eater because that, you know, she had the core in her when she had the baby.
That could be it.
And she could be one of the girls or one of the people that escaped the school after the test. Time has passed.
I need to know how long after you die do you become a man-eater?
I mean, he's been away from that place for some time, though. I don't know if it was a year or so, but
I also feel like if the reason that the place broke down was because of her turning into a man-eater, I feel like those guys would have like said something like, "Oh,
no," but I don't think they knew because remember they left, they killed, like they escaped, and then they just left. They were in their own little thing.
Okay. So then maybe.
And then they probably weren't even going back there because they were like, "We're gone now. Like we're away from these women that are crazy and trying to breed us as pigs." But what happened is the dude probably killed her, and then they all ran because she might have been like the head or something. I don't know, or jealous. I don't know. And then they're like, "Well, she's dead. We gotta, you know, bury the body or something." And then the body just transformed into a man-eater overnight, and all the other people either died or they tried to run away because the man-eater eats people. So even if, you know, all the other people died, you probably wouldn't see any blood or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Okay. And then besides that, I think Mime went back to the little girl and like faced her fears.
Yeah. And she was like, "It's okay. It won't annoy me." And then she was like, "Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it." And then it just stopped. And then she was like, "See, your thing doesn't annoy me." And then they were just cool. And now they're like best friends.
Yeah. And then I think Tokyo, I think she had her kid. Yeah, she had the kid. Two kids.
2 kids, yeah.
And then she just started walking to normal, went back to class, I guess.
Yeah, she showed up at the pool with the rest of the people. Even though, and this is funny because they were like, "Don't bring a swimsuit, you won't be swimming." And then half of the people brought swimsuits and half of the people were just dressed normal.
Yeah, they're like, some of us didn't understand the information that was given. That's okay. That test was really like scaring me. It felt very eerie. And then even one
it
girl
wasn't even,
was like,
but that wasn't even the test though. Remember, he's like, "We won't tell you when the test is. It'll just happen, and you'll have to make a decision." So.
But even one girl was like, "This doesn't really feel right to me," for some reason.
Yeah. And so, because the assistant director, and the dude, they did say something like, "We're gonna turn the power off."
Okay.
And allow them, because remember the test was like, "Do you guys want to go outside?" And they were like, "What? What's outside?" And they were like, "You'll be given an opportunity to go outside. You can choose if you want to stay or if you want to leave. And we won't tell you when it'll happen. You'll just know. Like, it'll just happen."
I don't know. I just know I'm excited for this finale. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I feel like we've gotten some information, but really not that much from the beginning of the season. I feel like.
Yeah. I don't think it's aliens. I don't know. It might be aliens. I do think one of those theories are true though. I don't know which one. I kind of want to feel like it's aliens that showed up.
Like where'd they go though? Like aliens showed up and then like what? They captured them?
They captured them and then they did experiments and they created the man-eater human hybrid thing.
But that's
Wait, you think none of the theories are true?
No, I think I think the future and past thing is a good theory.
No, I'm talking about the when the storyteller was like, there's
for,
3
how
theories
the world
on,
got messed up.
Yeah, how the world became to what it is today.
And what were the theories? Aliens.
It was aliens, the
War.
war theory, like it was mass war and that caused complete, chaos, like nuclear war, alien theory, and I forgot what the other one was.
I could see aliens. I can't really see war just because I feel like people would know if it was a war
Yeah.
that started it. And then I also don't remember the other theory. So I could see aliens for sure. Some kind of sickness, some kind of... Well, I guess my only question would be, like, why are there no more aliens? I don't know.
All right, I had to change the battery in my headset for a second.
I don't know, man. What was your episode of the week?
Episode of the week. Either Heavenly Delusion or Hell's Paradise, because the information.
Okay.
I didn't really... The Demon Slayer backstory was just like, whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't really...
I'm not gonna lie. I'm it's so crazy because I like argue down with you like in the past, like Demon Slayer is so good, but I kind of been feeling like
oh no.
I kind of been feeling like, aside from like the fighting and stuff, I mean, maybe it's because we're not touching on the characters I really care about. Like I like Tanjiro, I like Zenitsu, and I like the other guy.
Inosuke.
Inosuke. So it's kind of like I don't really care about the love Hashira. Like Marichiro is pretty cool, but his backstory didn't really make me feel no type of way either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe it's because like the focus is not on the characters I really like, but I kind of been feeling like not the whole season, but like the past couple episodes, I just been like, all right, okay, cool, I guess.
It's been good.
Yeah. Aside from like the fighting, it hasn't really been that crazy. I mean, but the story's never been that crazy. But I don't know. I feel like the last season was way better to me.
Okay. I've seen a lot of people saying that though, that they enjoyed season 2 more than this season, and it was just more interesting. But like, I've also seen a lot of people saying like this was also like the worst arc in the manga too.
Okay, so yeah.
So that might be it. And
like Tengen was so much cooler than both of them combined.
Yeah, I love Tengen, but these two I don't really care much for at the moment. I like Kanroji I think a little bit more than Muichiro right now, but like I had to wait until literally like the last 2 episodes to get a backstory and fighting from her. So I don't know. But I have heard that this is like not the best arc. So I guess we'll see. A 70-minute finale, I'm sure we'll get some at least good animation.
You know we're gonna get the backstory of the dude. And we almost got a little bit. It ended so weird too. Like it was freaking Nezuko mid jump attack and then it just froze on her face. Yeah. I was like, that was the weirdest like cliffhanger ever. Like what the heck? It was so random. And then we were gonna get a backstory on that dude because he was like, Tanjiro was like, you can't run away from your responsibilities. You're blah, 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 blah. And then he was like having a flashback. I guess he used to be really weak. And I'm assuming somebody lied on him and said he did something and he didn't do it. And ever since then, people have treated him bad and he's super weak. And he's like, why do you guys treat me this way? I'm not strong. I'm a weak person and you bully me and you say I lie and I do all these things and I don't do them. So I think his backstory is either going to be that he has a split personality disorder and he does things as one person and then he converts back to his other self and he has no recollection and then people say he did these bad things and when he's in that form he feels super down and sad all the time because he feels like people are just targeting him and lying to him when in reality he is doing those things but he doesn't know. And that's why when he's in a demon form he has the different emotions. Because he has like a disorder. That's my prediction. I could be wrong though. But that's what I think.
My prediction is just like something similar to like what's his name? Is it Gyatoro? The main Upper Moon in
last time
season.
the sister.
Like I could see it being something similar to like his sister where like, I don't know, he got blamed for something he didn't really do or something like that. Like he got lied on and then like maybe they just like persecuted him and like beat him up really bad. I could see something like that happening.
Yeah. That still doesn't give him the right to become a demon and kill people, but
no.
Yeah.
Honestly, none of the demons I've heard
in their
are
actions.
justified. No. Like I don't think any of them are really justified. But my episode of the week, I think it was probably, I feel like it was Vinland, honestly. Like I feel like it was like, I just feel like it was so bold of them to like have an episode where you thought there was going to be like a big climax and they just cut it like so short. Not really short, but like nothing really happened. And it was like so funny that nothing happened. And I just thought they did that really well. But animation of the week, I would say mine
Demon
probably,
Slayer.
Yeah, probably Demon Slayer.
CGI
there
trees.
was some fighting. I don't think the CGI looks bad.
I don't either. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. It's different. I'm surprised that they use so much on the trees.
Yeah, I mean, aren't they like all CGI for the most part?
Yeah, all of them are CGI. Yeah.
Oh, maybe the last episode will have some different, or maybe not. I don't know. It's 70 minutes. I feel like they could have just put like 3 episodes instead of just putting like an hour episode.
I mean, I don't mind the hour-long episode.
That's just me. Unless they like plan on putting in like a theater or something. I don't know. But they be doing that. Like
you don't like they put it in a theater.
Like yeah, like some well, okay, this is probably just reserved for One Piece. But in One Piece, like they're talking about like putting like certain episodes like in the theater. Like when Luffy goes like Gear 5, I heard they're putting that like in a theater. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what they be doing in Japan. I'm not over there. But yeah, animation of the week, Demon Slayer probably for me too. Moment of the week, I already gave Vinland the episode of the week, so I probably give it to Heavenly Delusion when they were by like the pool. I just thought that was like really eerie, and like I have no idea like what to expect from it. Like I just have this feeling like they're all gonna die.
In what? Demon Slayer?
In Heavenly Delusion.
Oh. I was like, what?
No, not Demon Slayer.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I do think they all end up dying eventually. Not our main characters, but I think the kids, and that's how the man-eaters take over the world. But yeah.
Oh wait, that's actually wait. Okay, so if we're going like future past theory, do you think that for the past that man-eaters weren't in the outside world?
Yes.
And like they didn't get out, but they got out because of this specific like facility?
Situation, yeah.
Okay. That'll be interesting too. Because I didn't think about it like that. I was just thinking like they're inside this place, but like the outside also has man-eaters at this like time period. But it could be like some freaky like scientific like mess up where like they're doing all this stuff and then they accidentally let them out.
Yeah, and it causes mayhem.
Okay. What was your moment of the week?
Moment of the week when girl got mutilated. She took the glasses off. She took the sunglasses off. Mimi Hime took the sunglasses off that little girl, and then out of nowhere, the freaking walls just transformed into arms and started stabbing her. I'm like, what is going on?
I thought it was real.
Like, I did too. I thought it was real too. I'm like, what is happening? Like, what the heck?
I was like, dang, they really did her like that? I thought maybe it was like she like messed up, like she wasn't supposed to talk to her or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they planted her there, and whoever came to the girl was gonna get it.
It's like, dang, that's brutal, bro. Okay. Well, that's all I got for this week.
Same.
Those are all my takes. We got what we got. We got finales for 3 of our shows. Hell's Paradise will be the last one standing the next week. Who do you think is gonna have the best finale?
Demon Slayer. Well, in terms for me personally, I think Heavenly Delusion, but I think overall animation, fighting, and just like the package, I'll say Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
But in terms of story, I'll say Heavenly Delusion.
Okay. I'd say Heavenly Delusion. I think Demon Slayer's kind of cheating by putting a 70-minute finale out.
You think it's not fair?
I don't think it's fair. It was like, all right, like it's like, but I think Heavenly Delusion will have the best finale, like story wise, for me.
I think I'll enjoy Vinland like the most though. Just him seeing his mom and stuff back home.
Yeah,
I've been kind of waiting to see that. That would be awesome.
I just really felt like this week was the finale, though.
Yeah.
It just felt like such a perfect.
It felt
finale.
trash to me. I'm not gonna. I still stand by what I said. I sent you the text. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm like, all right, bro. I guess is this like, if that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing. It's cool, I guess. I don't know, because I was on the bandwagon of like, I don't care if he's not fighting, but now I'm like,
switch sides.
I feel like they're milking it right now. Like, it's no way.
What are they
I don't know. It's
milking?
like, I feel like it's to the point where like
they're trying to
it's
save
weird.
money on animation.
Not save money on animation, but it's like, all right, they already proved their point. Like, he doesn't want to fight anymore. But now I feel like they're going out their way to put him in situations where it's like, all right, bro, you got to fight. And he's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fight. That's what I feel like.
Well,
Like, they're forcing it, if that makes sense. It's not organic.
wait, what are they forcing? Can you tell me? Can you go back?
Him not fighting. Like, him being peaceful. Like, it doesn't
Okay.
feel organic. Like, when he was doing it earlier in the show, like, when he was letting Snake cut him, that felt organic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like, all right, you know, he doesn't want to do this anymore. That's not him.
Yeah, like you think the peak of his character development should end it right there, and like there wasn't really much to add, like on that narrative.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I don't know. I feel like the end just showed maybe just like the realistic side of him more than anything. Maybe just like realistically, he knew that he could not defeat or change an entire kingdom. Because
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying he should have fought Canute. I'm just saying like the 100 punch thing was unnecessary. I feel like they could have just let him go talk to Canute. And they do the conversation. That whole 100 punch 12 minutes. I don't think that was necessary. I don't think that added anything to his character, to me or to anybody. To me, it didn't like make me feel even more like, oh, whoa, he's really, you know, dedicated to this, because we already know he's dedicated to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just wasted.
It didn't add
don't
anything to how you saw
his
him
character.
resolve.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't add anything to him for me. And then for that to be a whole episode, basically, so 12 minutes of him getting punched, and then the last 12 minutes is him talking to Canute. And then the next episode is another 12 minutes, 12 to 14 minutes of him talking to Canute again. Where in reality, those 2 episodes could have been pushed into one, right? And then the last episode is him going back home, and it's just him, you know, whatever they do when he's back at home.
Yeah. Okay. No, I definitely agree with you, especially on the punches. Like, I thought that was really, even though we thought it was gonna be the whole episode, and like my expectations were a lot worse for it, and like they still made me enjoy at least like the ending of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, when I think about his character, I still don't see why he needed to be punched 100 times. But I guess we'll see what's gonna happen in the finale. I hope they show. I know they're gonna show him like talking to his family or what he has left of his family. But I hope they show
I mean,
like where
he only
he's
had
gonna
a sister
go.
and a mom.
Was there anyone else like on that land?
Yeah,
They had,
yeah,
like
it was a bunch of
neighbors, right?
kids. It was
Oh, okay.
neighbors. His dad Thor's was like the guy. He was like the leader of the group.
Okay.
You don't remember in the first season when Floki
I'm
and them
trying to
showed up and they
remember.
were like, Thor's, it's a war. You got to come back. You got to fight. And Thor's was like, what? He was like, yeah, you got to come back. You got to fight. Because he deserted like 12 years ago. And Floki went to go find him and bring him back and was like, hey, you got to fight. He really just wanted to kill him. I don't know why. He was the general. Thor's was a general. I seen one person say that the reason Floki had Thor's killed is because Thor's, and it's crazy. So the leader, the king of the Vikings, is Thor's wife's dad. So his father-in-law is the king of the Vikings, like the head king of the Vikings.
Like the guy that's talking to Canute all the time.
No, not him.
Okay.
But so Thorfinn and his sister are literally directly related to the king that owns the Vikings. So technically, Thorfinn is a prince.
Okay.
But they don't talk about that at all. I only know this because I've been watching. This group of people that I watch on YouTube. They react to episodes, and I've just been watching them react to like a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So I've been like low key
that.
recapping the shows.
Did they show that character in this season?
No, it was season 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the first time when they were describing or it was like a flashback. It was when Thor's had his first kid, which was Thorfinn's sister, and it was just showing him like how he was so different back then because he was still a soldier. And he was holding the baby like with one hand,
Yeah.
just looking at it. And then I mean he's changed so much, but like that was his first kid, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll be back. I have to go to battle." And then he was saying that's the only time he's seen his wife mad because he was holding their kid like in that way and kind of like dismissing it, like okay, whatever. And then he was like, name our child. Or she was like, name our child.
I don't even know the girl's name.
Yeah, I don't remember her name either. But
I guess we'll see. Wait, how much older is she than Thorfinn?
probably like 8 years.
Oh, it was like a big difference.
Yeah, she was like a teenager. He was like what, 9 at the time?
Yeah. It was like 8 or 9. Or 10.
She like
I
caught
can't
a
remember.
whale with her bare hands.
What?
She not a whale, but it was like a giant fish. And you know how you can use a harpoon? You can use a harpoon to like fish. She grabbed it with her hand, threw it in the water, and then just pulled it out by herself. A giant fish. With like a bunch of dudes on other boats looking at her. And they were like, "Whoa, you're amazing." This is when they just got the news that Thor's had died. And she was kind of like, she was trying to play it like she wasn't sad about it. When they got the news, she was like, okay, well, I got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work on the land. I got to tell people what they got to do. And if I don't, basically move the livestock and stuff like that, a bunch of stuff will fall down. So I don't have time to worry about that right now. But, she was kind of like, that's supposed to happen. People die. It's whatever. But then at the end of the night, the mom came in and was like, hey, you should take a break. You've been working pretty hard today. And then she was like, no, I'm fine. And she grabbed her hand and was like, no, take a break. And then when she took a break, she started like breaking down, crying. And then it cut back to Thorfinn on the boat following Askeladd with like the menace face, just super angry. Because he was on a ship. It was 2 ships, right? Because they took the ship that Thor's and them came on. They took one of their ships and they were just dragging it behind theirs. And Thorfinn was just in the back of the boat, just like staring at him.
What a guy.
So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if they'll do anything with that, but technically Thorfinn is a prince. Um,
Some sense.
Prince of all Vikings. That's low key crazy.
I feel like
They might do something with it. I don't know. They might not. They might not.
Thorfinn kind of. Who's he remind me of? No, he doesn't remind me of Ace. Never mind. But yeah, that's all I got this week.
Same.
Okay.
I'm probably not gonna go to the gym today. It's late.
Why not?
I don't like. I usually go in the mornings, and around this time it's pretty packed because it's after work. And there's only 2 squat racks, and I was gonna do legs today, and I know for sure somebody is gonna be on that squat rack, and I do not feel like waiting.
That's fair. I get like that too. If I usually like to go in the morning, and if it gets too late, I'm just like, man, I just don't want to do it. If it's like 5 or 6, it's like, man, it's too late. But yeah, that's it for this week, episode 31. Next week we got all the finales except Hell's Paradise. But yeah, thank you for listening. You made this far. Like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever course of action. Peace out.
Peace.